Well, we've got a special guest. We've got Maxis Gamez.
Yes.
We caught up with him at Fort Desoto. So why
Let's
don't
roll
we go
that.
ahead and roll that? Come on in here, Maxis.
Well, welcome, Fotobug fans, and we have a special guest with me here today. Somebody we've been trying to get on a podcast for quite some time, but he's been so busy, we haven't been able to pin him down. And I should say that Maxis helped us out with one of the very first podcasts we did in St. Augustine. So, welcome to the podcast, Maxis.
Good morning, Jim. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to finally see you again. We finally get to do this. It's been it's been quite some time since we planned to get together, but schedule's been busy. But that's okay. We're here now, and I'm happy to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity.
We've got a beautiful foggy morning. We're here at Fort Desoto Park in St. Petersburg, and this is a great place to come for wildlife images. And you conduct workshops here rather frequently, do you not?
Yeah. Fort Desoto is by far one of my favorite parks to photograph birds. The migration through here can be amazing in the summertime and the winter time as well. But it's by far one of my favorite locations to photograph shorebirds. Yes.
And so if you come to the area, you need to plan on coming to Fort Desoto. And I would urge you also to give Maxis a call.
Yeah, feel free to send me an email. You can always visit my website at gvisions.org.
We're going to put that in the show notes and down here on the...
Yeah, I send out a newsletter every month with location updates and what's going on around town and that sort of thing. So you can register free on my website, and I'll be happy to share that information with you folks.
As I said, Maxis is very, very busy. So Maxis, why don't you share some of the other workshops, because I know you are constantly on the go.
Yeah, well, this year, this is going to be my third year doing workshops. I started with only 2 on the calendar year. However, this year I'm doing 10. I just got back from San Diego. It was a very successful workshop, 5 days out there in San Diego. I just got back from the Everglades as well, 2 trips out to the Everglades. And in 3 days from now, I'm getting ready to do my 5-day tour. All around the Southwest Florida area. We visit all the way from the Tampa area all the way down to Naples. So, and then for that, 2 weeks of break, and then go at it again.
St. Augustine.
We have St. Augustine in April. Yes, the Florida Photofest.
And you've been doing that. This is your 3rd year now, right?
Yes, this is going to be my 3rd year at the Photofest, and I really highly recommend the event for everybody. It's very affordable. You get a huge amount of knowledge. And there are some great folks out there, they don't mind sharing what they know.
Well, who's going to be Tim Greig going to be there?
Tim Greig is going to be there. He's a good friend of mine. Charles Glatzer is going to be there as well. Greig Downey from Nature Escapes is going to be there as well. We also have
Charles or Chaz.
Chaz, yeah.
And Tim have been on the podcast.
They have, yeah. And
I got to pin down Greig Downey.
Yeah, Greig Downey's a good guy.
Got to get him in there too.
He's a good guy. And we also have this year George Alep. He's going to be our keynote speaker. Everybody knows George Alep.
He's kind of the grandfather of wildlife photography.
Yeah, nature photography.
Nature workshops.
Yep, so I'm very excited to see that, and that's in April. So just check out my newsletter and you'll see some updates on that.
And Maxis also has a great Facebook page, so go out there. And Maxis is another Fotobug, so you can...
That's right. Yep, I follow Fotobug. I've been following on Facebook, and I really love it. And I just watch the podcasts every other week, right? Every
time Maxis mentions this, I get $20.
Luckily, Jim has to pay that, not me.
That's on the fine print.
It's part of the contract.
But no, I do follow your Facebook page, and I know that you guys have been pretty busy. I know you're going to the Everglades pretty soon as well.
Yeah,
some
next
workshops.
week we'll be down there with an old buddy of yours, Chris Kopeek. I know you've done some stuff and work with Chris.
Chris is an amazing guy. We did some videos and some stuff here as well last summer. So I'm very excited for you, and you guys are busy.
And we're jealous. I don't know if you can see it here, but Maxis has this big 800 here back there. This is the big guns.
Yeah, we had the toys today.
Canon and Canon.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about that in a little bit, and the equipment that I use when I'm on the field and why. which
Why
is
don't,
important.
why don't we go
but-
ahead and get into that?
Okay, yeah.
And talk a little bit about anything you'd like to share with new photographers or even experienced photographers.
Sure, let's do that.
And I want to say that I came out here today. I lost my voice earlier this week, so if I sound a little bit different, that's the reason.
I just got out of my
He
cold
sent his
myself.
voice out for dry cleaning, and it came back, and it hasn't been the same.
I think it
since, so
shrunk.
You know what
So-
happens when you send something out to the cleaners.
Yep.
I just got out of it myself, so don't feel bad about it. I'll forgive you.
And I don't think we're contagious, so I think you
Yeah.
guys are safe.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the one who's in trouble.
Yeah, Fred's in.
Nah, I'll be fine.
All right.
Keep
Okay.
saying that.
Yeah, keep saying that.
Okay, Maxis,
Okay,
what would you like to share?
So normally when I'm in the field, I've been using the Canon 800mm lens for about a year now. Is by far my favorite toy now. I don't even see my 500 anymore. It's been collecting dust since I bought the 800. But I know not everybody can afford the lens, but I highly recommend it. One of the things that I like to say to folks is when you go out in the field, push yourself to the limits. That's how I learned my bird photography. You know, I never been part of a workshop per se. I never went to a lecture or anything of that nature. I learned everything pretty much on
And
my
I
own.
think, like most of the people we've had on our podcast, you don't have a formal education in photography.
No, not at all. Yeah, I've always been a computer guy. I used to build my own computers, but you know, in the technology part of
How
it.
many
But
of us are former or are computer guys in photography? Has something connection there, right?
yeah, nowadays with digital photography, you know, a computer is just the next step over. You know, so
And I'd like to mention also that Maxis taught himself English when he came in here
yeah,
too. So
yeah, that's another thing. When I'm originally
he
from
speaks
Venezuela.
better than I do. And
From Venezuela 14 years ago, I believe it was. I lost count. But one of my biggest challenge was that I couldn't read a manual. So
That would be
I just use pressing buttons left and right on my camera and learning what the button does. So that's how I learned, and then from there on, everything is history, you know.
I should have said bienvenido. Or
Yeah,
into
yeah,
nuestro
gracias.
podcast.
It's always a challenge. So I'm glad that I made it this far.